Guys, hi all.
Hi. Hey, it's Representative Hart and Representative Valdez.
Hey guys.
We're just now leaving Hamilton County Correctional Facility. It is in Hamilton County, right? Yeah, so I'm right.
Yeah,
Well, let me tell you, this was probably one of the worst visits I believe that I've had in a very, very long time.
Since Santa Rosa.
Yeah, you're right. When there was about 8 of us that went up to Santa Rosa.
That was our second semester of our freshman year.
This was a terrible visit.
Horrible.
We really started this visit out, and since they already know, we started this visit out because today we got a video of a man being slapped by officers. So we decided that we would go up and check it out, right?
Yep, do a surprise visit like we normally do.
Like we like to do.
Yeah.
So we get up to Hamilton and they chased us around.
Oh my gosh, they blocked Malik's car like if we were some kind of, I don't know, hood.
They say, how can I help you? I said, well, I'm Representative Hart. Oh, okay. Then we see all the little parts get to moving. Well, the warden comes back and we get checked in and we begin our little tour on the prison ground.
Yep.
Well, little do you know, because I know that you all are watching, Mr. Secretary, I get it. I know that you all get on every time I get on, because you should. But this time you really need to get on because you need to be paying close attention to what the two of us are going to talk about tonight. Hamilton is pathetic. The people there are petrified.
Petrified. They were like, no, everything's good. No. And we know it's not.
And a couple of them were like, I can't really say anything to you because you know if I do, they're going to beat us when you all go. And I was saying, yeah, I know they will. So that's why I'm trying not to talk to you directly. But if you got something you really want to tell us, let's figure out how you get to tell us. Our first visit was through the dining room, the dining hall. Well, I noticed that people seem to be shuffling in and out
Quickly.
as if though they were herding them in and out. And I know that I believe you now have 20 minutes that you're supposed to allow people to eat, but they might have been eating in 10, maybe 10.
Maybe 10.
I mean, they were standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down.
Oh my gosh, they were serving more food. Their plate was just, all of a sudden there was more grits, there were more black beans in their plates.
Is that not crazy?
It is crazy.
But when we started looking at it, it was a little skinny, and I was like, all of a sudden the plate seemed to begin to get filled. It's like, but okay. So we leave the dining room and we tell them that we want to go to G1.
Yeah.
So one of the worst dorms I'm told that on the compound is G1, where more people are brutalized and beat and slapped and all this craziness.
For no reason.
So we go to that dorm and we begin to kind of talk to the people in the dorm. But you know what? I wasn't comfortable at all with the officers tonight. I didn't like the way they were up on you. They
were taking photos of us talking with the individuals. So I guess it's to do what? To know who we were talking about, or to, and then so that then they know who to go and target. That is just not cool.
The guys were so nervous and so afraid to even really talk to us because they kept saying they're gonna retaliate against us when you all go. They're gonna lock us down. We don't know who will get beat. We don't know what they're gonna do. But the crazy part was we asked to meet with the young man that they say had something to do with the video, but then all of a sudden they were gonna let us see him, and then they said, oh no, he's a part of the video, so it's under investigation, so you can't go meet with him. Well, little did we know we'd already passed by his cell and spoke to him,
but we didn't know it was him.
Right, because had we known, we'd already had that conversation, because obviously they didn't know who the guy was.
Right. And
we didn't know who the guy was. But you all, so we leave there and we go to the next dorm. After having some form of conversation with the individuals, we leave out of there and we go to the next dorm. Well, the next dorm was the lockdown. It was, what you call it, administrative confinement.
Confinement, yeah.
So you go door to door to door to door to talk to everybody. And there was a young man there who was paralyzed on one of his legs. He's on a walker. He has a bath pass to be able to go to ADA to take a bath. They wouldn't let him go. So I asked the lady, why is he not going to the bath? Well, he has a pass. Well, what good is his pass if you won't let him use it? And that was, I believe, was she Captain Williams?
I don't know
Wilson?
what she was.
Her name was Wilson. Well, she was after Captain or something, Wilson. But, you know, her attitude was just simply horrible.
And when we walked into that dorm, the scent, the smell of rat poop and of mold or whatever else says, listen, I know the smell of this because, you know, when you grew up where we grew up, you know, it's...
Grew up in the hood, sometimes you remember some of those smells you smell.
You know what you're smelling. And Lord and behold, when I told that Wilson lady that, you know, hey, you know, what, it smells like rat shit in here.
And she was like, oh, it doesn't smell.
It doesn't smell.
And then the warden said it didn't smell. Then he walked around the counter.
He walked around the counter, and then sure enough, there's a whole bunch of wet bags of clothing and these mattresses that were nasty and really yellow and gross, and it's like, get that out of here, man.
That's why it was smelling. So as we continued to walk around, we noticed things like pillows were filthy nasty. There
were rust on them.
Yep. And I was like, what's wrong with their pillows? They need at least a pillowcase. They rush out and go get pillowcases. Mm-hmm. So I asked the warden when we leave. So had we not noticed it, I guess they would have never gotten a pillowcase, right? So, you know, it was just not a good visit. Then when Malik notices some gentlemen sitting in what looked like cages. Mm-hmm. So I asked the warden, I was like, who are those people and why are they in those little cages? Well, you all, when I laid eyes on them, it took me back to being over in Africa when I went to the slave dungeon and saw the little tiny cages that the prisoners were kept in up under the big church, up under the big Catholic church in the slave dungeons. My heart just sank. And I said, oh my God, that's what they do with slaves. That's what they did with the slaves. They put them in these little tiny cages. And there were six men all sitting there. And then the warden comes out and starts talking to them. Oh, you're like cutting hair and you're doing this. And I was like, well, why are they in these tiny cages? Well, that's to protect you all. They're orderlies. Really? But we're talking to everybody else.
Everybody else. Exactly.
But you have these men in little tiny cages. It was the worst feeling I think I've ever had at any of my prison visits.
That was just the most inhumane. And you know what? It's so hard for me sitting in justice appropriations and talk about giving these officers their deserved raises because they have such horrible conditions. And well, you know what? I can't support a raise and reward people that are bitch slapping literally our people.
And that's what they call it. That's what the guys call it.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous.
Slap what, baby? Slap ward?
Slap ward.
Isn't that something?
It is crazy.
It was terrible.
And by the way, it's happening around the whole complex from what we're being told.
That's the sad part. And the young man who had been stabbed, he'd been stabbed just below his eye. He'd been stabbed in his head. We did take his mom's number, so tomorrow we can call him. So I say to the warden, has he been allowed to
call his parents?
The boy said, I've not even had a call since I got in here. I was told that I could have a call, but the captain told me I better not say anything else about it, or I would not even be here.
Wait,
listen, that can't be tolerated.
How about the other one that we spoke to? That this so-called officer refuses and threatens the gentleman with starvation. So I asked the young man, "Did you have 3 meals today?" Yes, today was the first time I had 3 meals. But yesterday I was threatened to starvation. Listen, people, this is wrong. And I am just so upset because at the end of the day, they are warden of the state of Florida.
That's right.
They're ours.
Our responsibility.
Our
to
responsibility.
Take care of.
And I'm not saying give them the world of whatever, but you know, there's something that calls to be humane with these individuals.
Right. Pure humanity would be a start.
That would be a start. But I don't know.
I don't know either, but I was a little upset. This is probably one of my worst visits at a prison in a very, very long time. And I think it capped it off when I saw the 5 gentlemen sitting in these little cages with big padlocks on them. It just took me back to slavery days of what our loved ones and ancestors had gone through. Just, oh my God, it was terrible. I don't even know anything else I can call it other than terrible.
It's egregious.
Yeah, it was. It was very much so egregious. And I told the warden on the way out that I was just appalled that they would do that to people. Well, you know, it's really to protect you. I didn't need to be protected by locking them into little cages just wide enough for them to sit down.
To sit.
That's right. I had never seen those before.
And they look brand new, by the way. And they look brand new. So is this something new that we're spending our money on?
I don't know, but I'd never seen them at any other prison. Maybe they have them, maybe not. But we've never laid eyes on a set of 6
never seen
across the front.
All they needed was just a chain gang.
That's the same thing I thought. A chain
That's all they needed.
Was the only thing they had missing. But families, listen, man. Voting has consequences. I don't know how many more times I can tell you all this. But you all have better start looking out for your families. And the way to look out for your families is to get these goddamn people out of Tallahassee and put people in those seats that care about your loved ones. No, we cannot make it a country club. No, there will be punishment, but it won't be starvation. It won't be beatings. It won't be slappings. It won't be any of that. We will take care of him medically. The young man has a hole on the side of his neck where he had a spider bite, and it looks like there's eggs in it. Why does it take us to get here for them to say, for the warden to say, oh, I'm going to make sure he gets seen by medical? Where the hell has medical been all this time that it has gotten to that point? There's literally a hole in his neck. What is wrong with these people?
Now, the other thing that we can say, and parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, listen. Tell your little ones, tell your kids, tell your family, the young kids, y'all don't want to come up in this system.
No, you don't.
It is extremely dangerous. It is extremely sad what happens in these places. So if y'all think that I got my stripe because I'm going to prison, no, they ain't no stripe that happens. You don't want no parts of it.
The little boy who got stabbed both under his eye and in his head, because he said he didn't know who stabbed him. It happened so quick, they locked him up, and unless he can tell them who stabbed him, he will stay in confinement.
Well, there was another gentleman that had a gash in his forehead. Spanish guy.
Y'all, we can't make this up.
And I asked him, so, how did you get that scar? And he goes, miss, I fell. I'm like, really? Okay. And I know he didn't fall because the way that scar was, it's not from a fall. Because you don't have a scar from a fall falling in front of you, and his gash is right there. So you can't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining, right? I mean, it's just, it is what it is.
It's pathetic, you all. The families, we're just encouraging you. Please take your rear ends to the poll and let's go vote. Let's get some of these Republicans out of here. If y'all want to see some real change in the criminal justice system, you've got to put people in there who have a heart and care about people. That simple. Period.
Vote on your interests, on what you really care about. And if this is what you care about, the status quo, all right then.
Then keep it just
like that. But
thank you, Malik, for driving us up there. We really appreciate it. It's late and we know it. We're tired.
It's been a long week.
We didn't expect to spend our Friday at a prison, but unfortunately, sometimes that's what's necessary. And we're going to do whatever is necessary to uncover this madness that's going on in our prisons. Something has got to be done. So what do I like to say? Be a blessing to someone else, and someone will be a blessing to you. We're going to get on this road and try and get back down to Tallahassee.